Yo, what's going on, guys? Happy Tuesday. Hopefully you guys are doing well, man. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Um, what a stacked card. What a amazing fight night we should have this Saturday. Obviously, Tank Davis is going to be fighting Frank the Tank Martin. And Frank the Ghost Martin. And honestly, this is the first time that Tank Davis is fighting a black fighter, right? Stateside, somebody that's, very slick, right? In his prime, will have the size advantage over him. This is the first time in Tank Davis's career where he won't have all the advantages. Normally he puts fighters on rehydration clauses. Most of the time, fighters are moving up or coming down, or they're coming forward to him, and then they get met by Tank's knockout power, and then that's all she wrote. Well, Frank Martin can box, and he can bang with him, and he's going to have all of those size advantage. And I'm not going to say resume, right? But Frank's had to earn it the hard way, a genuine way, where it's not a lot of the times coming from the advantageous position of being the A side, right? Now, I'm not saying that, he hasn't been favored in all of his fights. What I'm just saying is that Frank has to fight obscure names where Tank Davis has circumvented a lot of action, a lot of fights, certain fights that he could have had. A lot of people like to put Tank Davis on their pound-for-pound list. But when you really break it down, he's only a one-time division champion. Because at 135, somebody was undisputed there. At 140, Josh Taylor was undisputed there. And this dude fought for interim belts. Do you know what I mean? So he gets far too much credit for doing the bare minimum. Frank Martin should be favored in this fight, right? Because he can do essentially everything that Tank can do. And honestly, Tank struggles in a lot of his fights. But yeah, man, I thought that was just a little interesting fact. He hasn't really fought an African-American fighter. A couple months ago, I don't know if it was this year or last year. I think it was last year. People were criticizing Naoya Inoue because supposedly he never fought in America and he's never fought against the black code fighter, the African-American fighter. And then he pieced apart Stephen Fulton. He was faster than him. He was the better outboxer than him. He had a better jab. He had better footwork. He was more athletic than Stephen Fulton, and then knocked his ass out. Stephen Fulton did not win one round. And I was watching a couple of Tank Davis's fights, preferably guys like Yuriorkis Gamboa, guys that can match his athleticism, and even Hector Luis Garcia. And these guys did pretty good against Tank. And then, mind you, again, these guys were either too old or moving up in weight. And I think Tank Davis is going to be surprised. Now, I don't really know how great Frank Martin is, but I know he's in his career, and especially in sparring, he always gets people caught, and he surprises them, right? He has the element of surprise. I don't think he can knock out Tank Davis, probably not, but he should be able to outbox him or at least win 7 rounds. Now, the question is this. When Tank lands on you, because he is going to land, Tank Davis is a good fighter. I just could name 10 fighters better than him on the pound-for-pound list. But be that as it may, once Tank lands on you, Frank, I want to see how Frank reacts to it. And I want to see the dog in Frank and what he's going to do, right? It should be very interesting. If Frank chooses to outbox Tank, I think that's one of the best options that he could have. But then he's got to pick his shots when to bang with him, right? Kind of like Jaime Munguia was doing really well against Canelo the first 3 rounds. Don't get overconfident in the 4th round and then just try to walk him down and then get hit with an uppercut. Tank Davis has a beautiful uppercut, a slip counter, boom, uppercut. So if Frank Martin plays his cards right, Tank Davis, takes a couple of rounds like Canelo, like Bud Crawford. They're slow starters, and then they start piecing you apart and things of that nature, right? Anyway, when I look at David Benavidez and Oleksandr Gvodzyk, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, man. I think Oleksandr Gvodzyk sucks. You guys remember that fight that Jaron Boots Ennis had? I think it was against Karen, some dude named Karen. That's how Oleksandr fights for me at 175, right? Oleksandr Gvodzyk throws nice straight punches. He doesn't really throw body shots. He is very crafty and he has good circling, side movement and straight punches. That's all he's got. Now, Gvodzyk, much like his contemporaries, they usually touch. They're just touching you. They don't really commit to their shot. When that shot does penetrate through the guard and they feel their fist kind of hurting a little bit, they know that your brain is rattled. Then they start throwing a barrage of punches. So I was watching Oleksandr Gvozdyk's best performance, right? And that was against Adonis Stevenson. And Adonis Stevenson at 40 years old was fucking up Oleksandr Gvodzyk. Oleksandr sucked. I think he only won 2 rounds. And the 3rd round, he did drop Adonis Stevenson. But then in the 10th round, Adonis Stevenson, basically, if there was no ropes holding up Gvozdyk's is flying out the ring, head first. Those ropes held him up, all right? But I had Adonis Stevenson going into the 11th, probably winning 8 rounds and only losing 2. Maybe 7-3. In the 11th round, and as the fight continued on, the 40-year-old Adonis Stevenson, you can see him breathing heavy and getting tired. And then he gets caught with a right hand. And then Gvozdyk, like Artur Beterbiev, like Dmitry Bivol, they're great at reading body language. And then they start throwing these flurries of punches. And then they start rocking your shit. Your brain starts to get scrambled. And then they start blitzing you, right? And Gvozdyk is very good at doing that. And as I'm watching the Oleksandr, Oleksandr versus Artur Beterbiev, look, Artur Beterbiev, he's a dirty Marcos Maidana, right? He's in the clinches. He's always going to punch with one free hand. He's going to use forearms. He's going to take you down, wrestle you to the ground. Artur Beterbiev is Marcos Maidana. Ruthless. The dude is a fucking barbarian, okay? That movie Logan with Hugh Jackman, the rated R one, that's Artur Beterbiev. Just absolutely brutal, all right? It would be a fucking nightmare to fight that dude. Right, he's gonna tackle you down. He's gonna give you forearms. He fucking hits extremely hard, and he's just, dude. It'd just be a nightmare to fight that fucking dude. Probably on the juice, but until he fails an actual drug test, then we can accuse him. But as I was watching Oleksandr Gvozdyk, he reminds me of the guy that fought Jaron Boots Ennis, right? Karen, and Gvozdyk sucks, man. It's just straight punches and then lateral movement, circling, and no body punches. In fact, he's quite weak to the body. There were so many times that Adonis Stevenson 6-7 years ago, had he just thrown more body shots with that left hand, had he thrown gazelle-like punches, cutting, uppercuts with his left hand, he probably knocks out Oleksandr Gvozdyk. But when he's 40 years old, right, fighting a 31-year-old at the time, I'm sure it got really tricky for him. Regardless, Gvozdyk has an amazing 11th round, lands a beautiful right hand, and then he starts blitzing Adonis, and Adonis starts getting tired. His brain is still scrambled, and Gvozdyk closes the show. Beautiful. Now, when Gvozdyk lost to Artur Beterbiev, I don't know, 5 years ago, he basically retired from the sport. He was 4 years removed from the sport. And talk about, I don't know. I think I saw an interview years ago when they asked him about that. And he was like, I think he said that he needed to take a break, that he fell out in love with boxing. But talk about first getting your ass defeated and then just, I'm not saying being a sore loser or quitting, but I'm just saying instead of trying to run it back with the dude that beat you, you just retire. A lot of people are expecting David Benavidez to have trouble with Oleksandr Gvodzyk. But just like the young man that Gvodzyk was against the 40-year-old Adonis Stevenson, David Benavidez being 10 years younger, he should get the job done. And if David is who he is, he should knock out Oleksandr Gvodzyk. It'll be troubling at first because Gvodzyk will be a little, he'll be very cautious and meticulous in terms of throwing his punches and certain punches. But David should figure out the puzzle and get Gvodzyk the fuck up out of here. So after Gvodzyk lost to Artur Beterbiev, he came back last year and fought basically 3 nobodies. And one was on the Canelo undercard. And as I was watching that fight, hold on. Let me take a little sip of this little Capri Sun. Yo, ¿qué huele? What's going on, David? I mean, the Mexican G. Excuse me. So, Oleksandr Gvodzyk had 3 comeback fights last year. And they were against nobodies. They weren't against Anthony Yarde-like fighters. They weren't against, David Benavidez-like fighters or Demetrius Andrade fighters. These 3 dudes, I've never even heard of. Isaac Rodriguez, 28-4, knocked him out in 2 rounds. Never heard of him. Ricard Bolotnik. I was watching that fight. That was on the David Canelo undercard when he fought John Ryder last year. And Oleksandr Gvodzyk looked shot. For the first couple of rounds, he just laid on the ropes and let the other dude tire himself out. And then, just like I said, he's really good at reading body language. And when Gvodzyk turned it up, it was just too much. The dude has heavy hands. Excuse me. If David Benavidez is who he says he is, and everyone has been telling us these, sparring champion of a warrior that he is against Gennady Golovkin, Bivol, Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez, David should knock out a dude that has the same context of Virgil Ortiz. You know how Virgil Ortiz, has had like 2 comeback fights against guys like Tomás Delorme and has knocked them out pretty much in the first round. That's essentially Oleksandr Gvodzyk, right? Guys that are trying to get back into the rhythm of the sport. And I know a lot of people like to criticize David Benavidez for being a weight bully. I want to give you guys a slight different perspective. A lot of people, look down upon weight bullies. Oh, he's only good because he's a weight bully. The way I look at it is when someone calls you a weight bully, I look at it like this. If I'm walking around 200 pounds and I'm able to discipline myself and sacrifice and lose, 32 pounds to make 168, how about giving me some fucking credit for staying disciplined? And what is the true definition of boxing? Doesn't boxing, one of the definitions of it, means to sacrifice? You sacrifice yourself, your health, your well-being to make some money to feed your family. Well, these quote-unquote weight bullies just are doing it one step further. I'm weakening myself, fighting at a weight class that I don't ever walk around with on a daily basis, so I can, quote-unquote, maybe get a size advantage. But what about looking at it like this? I'm depleting myself. I'm continuing to do what the sport of boxing is sacrifice my health to fucking be victorious and kick ass. That's what warriors do. That's what soldiers do. You see? But again, in boxing, oh my God, the dude only wins because he's a weight bully. Instead of giving these guys credit, like, damn, bro, you really need to sacrifice 40 pounds? Like, why don't you just fight dudes your own size? Like, why would you want to, deplete yourself? Why would you weaken yourself to fight these dudes that are naturally, competing in their own, or walking around closer to their weight, and that's just what the definition of boxing is. I'm going to sacrifice my well-being for a shot of glory, right? So I can feed my family while kicking fucking ass, right? But no, boxing fans, they look down upon weight bullies, right? Because somehow you can look at it like, oh, well, they're insecure. fighting men their own size. Well, if I'm weakening myself, doesn't the other fighter have the advantage? If you know that I'm struggling to make weight, see, I don't think a lot of people know how difficult it is to lose 5 pounds, let alone 10, let alone 20, let alone 30 fucking pounds, and basically under 3 months while fucking fighting and sparring dudes bigger than you, training and being very disciplined. I don't think a lot of people respect and acknowledge how difficult it is. And that's where these guys get punch drunk during all of these tough sparring sessions while losing weight. You get what I'm saying? Only fans in the sport of boxing, and I'm talking about the hardcores, alongside the casuals don't have time for this shit. But the hardcores are ruining the sport of boxing. I kid you not. Anyway, let me come back to a certain topic, man. So if David Benavidez is who he is, he should knock out Oleksandr Gvodzyk. Because I'm looking at Oleksandr Gvozdyk's skills, and I'm not saying that he doesn't have skills. I'm just saying his skills are that of an amateur, right? I'm not impressed. The guy that fought Boots, Karen, that's Oleksandr Gvodzyk, but with a little more power. That's it. This dude has like under 20 fights, and when he suffered his first defeat, talk about quitting. He left the sport of boxing. He literally left the sport of boxing. Instead of, trying to, run it back or trying to go fight Dimitri Bivol, he goes, no, I'm tired. I want to walk away. So David should knock this dude out, right? He should knock him out. He's got to figure it out. I don't know if he had camp in Florida, but he was, having help from Andre Durrell. He was asking questions to Guillermo Rigondeaux. So that's one thing that I love about David is that he's always looking to learn and he's increasing his IQ because we know he's big. We know he has amazing speed. Power, it looks like too, he's sitting more on his shots. He loves his flurries of punches. With that being said, I'm not really impressed with Oleksandr Gvodzyk. Again, just a little recap. Adonis Stevenson was kicking his fucking ass. I'm not saying that he got lucky, but I'm saying that Adonis Stevenson was 40 years old, and that is the only reason why Oleksandr Gvodzyk beat Adonis Stevenson. If Adonis Stevenson was younger, he probably knocks out Gvodzyk, right? And a lot of people give him, I think he beat up his brother, Anthony Durrell. Yeah. And that's one thing I like about David, man, is that he's very studious in this game. He's very, I guess you can say, undisciplined outside of the ring. Homie likes to drink. He likes to party. But again, it's not during, for instance, let me go to a side point. There's guys like Andy Ruiz, and there's guys like the dude from Panama that beat Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Manos de Piedra Duran, right? During the off season, these guys like to party. They're not consummate pros throughout, right? But when it comes down to fighting, and once they start to train themselves, they can pull amazing upsets, right? But to be consistent, right? Like check this out. This is the difference between some of these legends, right? And it's being that consummate pro in and out of the ring, especially when you don't have a fight assigned to you. And it's this. When Andy Ruiz upset Anthony Joshua, right? What did Anthony Joshua do? Anthony Joshua immediately started making adjustments to the camp. Andy Ruiz immediately, it was a rags to riches story. The dude went party. He was kicking it with Baby Bash, all of these celebrities, buying all these cars, all this jewelry, but not training. Manny Robles was like, dude, just fucking train. We got a fucking rematch clause. Anthony over there was trying to get trainers and he was trying to fix the problem. What happens in the rematch? He wins. Robert Duran, when he beat Sugar Ray Leonard, Leonard immediately wants the rematch. He starts figuring out, man, what the fuck did this do? Where did I go wrong? Did I fight his fight? He starts making the adjustments. Robert Duran says, no mas. Andy Ruiz, he didn't say no mas, but the dude couldn't even cut off the ring against Anthony Joshua, right? David Benavidez, yes, he made a mistake. And maybe while he hasn't necessarily replicated that same mistake, he's cleaning up more or less his act. So I know a lot of people like to give David Benavidez shit on that DAZN because he was drunk and they were asking him questions. And while he didn't sound great in terms of his speech, what he was saying towards Diego Pacheco, he was like, yeah, it was very logical, based like reasoning in terms of what Diego Pacheco needed to do in that fight to be successful. But of course, homie was drunk as fuck, and it is what it is. But yeah, man, that's just pretty much my 2 cents. Oleksandr Gvodzyk, he's not that good. And I don't think he's going to be the man to beat David Benavidez. Could he? I'm sure that he can. But this isn't the same Oleksandr Gvodzyk that put a 40-year-old Adonis Stevenson in a coma. This is not him. Okay? This is more like the same Virgil Ortiz that we see in his last 2 fights when he's knocked out guys in 1 round. That's Gvodzyk. I need to see how Gvodzyk looks in this fight. I need to see his punch tolerance. I need to see his stamina. David needs to be nasty. Much like Artur Beterbiev was like Marcos Maidana when he fought Gvodzyk, that's what David needs to be in this fight. He needs to be ruthless. He needs to punch with one. If Gvodzyk is going for a clinch, David has to fight with the free hand. He's got to make this shit rugged. Do not be nice and generous on an older man. Knock this dude lights out, period. And so that's what I got to say. Like, David should smash him up into pieces. Obviously, you're going to have to take the legs off of Gvodzyk. He's not going to stand there. He's going to have a lot of Karen-like movement. Body shots, body shots, body shots. Then pump your uppercuts. Your high guard should be more than enough because Gvodzyk just throws straight punches. Occasionally, he'll throw a left hook. Occasionally, he might throw a 4. He's not really going to go to the body. Maybe a jab to the solar plexus. That's about it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. I don't see nothing special in Gvodzyk where David has the potential to be. That's all I got to say, man. There is a reason why Gvodzyk spars, or Canelo has chosen Gvodzyk as a sparring partner, and why Canelo refuses to fight David. That's just a cold fucking fact. He refuses to fight David. All right? Whether I think Canelo beats David, the fact remains that Canelo does not want to fight David. If David is trash, if David is overrated, then Canelo should fight somebody that's overrated and trash. I mean, isn't that what Canelo does? Doesn't he fight guys like Liam Smith, Rocky Fielding, James Kirkland, right? Josecito Lopez, Amir Khan. I mean, aren't those fucking dudes sorry as fuck? I mean, it's in Canelo's resume. This is what he does. And it takes him so long to fucking fight bona fide threats. Anyway. Let me see if Speed and Drew are here, of course. They always fucking leave me hanging, bro. Yeah, Andreo Darrell. Yeah, he beat his brother Anthony. So going back to this Saturday, man. Frank, man. I think Frank's got a real great shot of beating Tank Davis. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I don't think Tank Davis is a pound for pound fighter. I can potentially name like 10 fighters that should be above him, and that's all I pretty much have to say in regards to that. Look, Jermell Charlo, he's still undisputed, should be above him, right? Devin Haney lost to Ryan, should still be above him, right? He was undisputed. Lomachenko should be above Tank Davis. All right. You can go with Emmanuel Navarrete, 3-time division champion, should be above him. Naoya anyway, Canelo, Artur Beterbiev, Bivol. If you want to add Usyk, I wouldn't because, he's a heavyweight. This is supposed to exclude the heavyweights. Bud Crawford. You get what I'm saying? There's so many fighters above Tank Davis level skill set. Hell, I'm not even a big fan of Shakur, but at least he's beat legit champions. You know what I mean? Whereas Tank Davis, he's only beat Pedraza. You can't say whoever it is that he beat at 135 when Devin Haney or Cambosis or Teofimo were undisputed. I would add Josh Taylor and Teofimo Lopez skill for skill above Tank Davis. Because again, who they've beaten to get into that top position is light years better than a fucking Mario Barrios. Mario Barrios is not a legit champion. Yeah, man. I'm gonna tune in for it as well. I'm really excited for this fight. Look, when this fight was announced, I was like, shit, this is a good fight for David. And it should still be a good fight. But as I start looking at things and studying Gvozdyk's craft, he is not the same. This is not the same dude that fought Artur Beterbiev. If you go look at Gvozdyk's last 3 fights in last year, you should not really be impressed because of the level of opposition, right? Whereas David, again, David is flawed. We know he's flawed. But youth matters, right? And again, David is only getting better. I can't say that Gvozdyk is only getting better. Again, Gvozdyk's best fight was against Adonis Stevenson, and he was only winning 2 rounds, 2-3 rounds. Adonis, at 40 years old, was piecing him apart. I'm not saying Gvozdyk is, afraid to get hit, but if you really read his body language, if you really read Gvozdyk's body language, I don't know, man. It's like he's scared. He gets hit with a punch and you kind of see him cower a little bit. But he has a really decent poker face and a very tight guard. That's how he circles. Okay. I like Mario Barrios, okay? Like, as a human being, the dude is like my brother. You know what I mean? The dude's an amazing guy. But, like, in terms of what Mario Barrios is, he is a true warrior. I mean, the dude is willing to fight everybody. And that's, at the end of the day, that's the respect that I'm going to give him. But I'm talking about, like, skill for skill. He's really not that good. Like, he's really not that good. I mean, before at 140, he didn't really accomplish anything, right? And he had lost that one fight to that Russian dude, except that Barrios was dropping that dude. And then Tank Davis fights him, and Barrios was doing okay. And then, Tank Davis landed a couple of nice body shots, uppercuts, looping right hooks that put Barrios down. And I'm sure those body punches hurt. Then, he moves up to 147, whatever, beats Yordenis Ugas. Again, not trying to shit all over Yordenis Ugas. The dude is an amazing gladiator and a warrior, just like Barrios. But I'm talking about skill for skill. These guys aren't, like, legit champions. You know what I mean? So, like, again, I only say those things just to emphasize that Tank Davis really isn't that guy. I don't want to give any respect to Tank Davis. I like him as a fighter when he chooses to fight. I'm sure that he's got the goods, but I can't respect his resume. I can't put him on the list of gladiators that actually lose and take tough fights, right? Like Lomachenko, even Canelo when he's fighting guys like Bivol, right? I cannot put Tank Davis on the pound-for-pound list when these other champions are actually putting it on the line with no stipulations and fighting legit threats, right? That's all I got to say about that. I can't call Tank Davis a legit 3-time division champion because, Devin Haney or Kambosos or Teo was undisputed at 135. At 140, Josh Taylor was undisputed. Tank Davis, for a guy who claims that he doesn't want belts, he sure as hell is okay with paying the intern fees. That's all I got to say about that. How is that a guy that doesn't like being called a champion fight for fake gold around his waist? He's fighting for interim belts. It's like wearing fake jewelry. Doesn't make any sense. So I can't say Tank is a pound-for-pound fighter, and I can't say that he's a 3-time division champion. Okay, you want to say, he beat Leo Santa Cruz. Leo Santa Cruz is a 118-pounder. Maybe a 114-pounder. Then 122, 126, and then he stopped after 130. Where is Leo Santa Cruz now? That was a cash-out fight for him to boost up that situation where Tank Davis just keeps on knocking out Mexican or Latino fighters. That's the Floyd Mayweather blueprint. This is the first time that he's fought in a black fighter. If you want to, exclude or include Yoruki's Gamboa, Tank Davis has not fought a black fighter in his resume. The same criticism that they gave Naoya Inoue, same criticism Tank Davis. Dude, bro, like, Tank Davis is garbage, bro. And Ugas whooped Pacquiao. Okay, he whooped Pacquiao. Congratulations, bro. Pacquiao was 40 fights. I mean, he was 40 years old. He was basically looking to cash out against Errol Spence. Basically, probably Pacquiao beats Spence, given the context. But like Pacquiao is damn near like a 50-year-old with over like 80 fucking fights. Congratulations, Ugas. You went the distance with Pacquiao. You were plus 325. I remember because I was gonna bet on Ugas. But regardless. Yeah, what's going on, Abner? Watching Tank fight is like watching a grown man swimming in the kiddie pool. Yeah, man. It's look, maybe Tank Davis is that dude, okay? But he's very insecure about himself. Because with headgear and like 20-ounce gloves, yeah, I'm sure that he's willing to spar every single person in the world. But take off the kitty, like you said, in the kiddie pool, take out and oh man, Ryan, I gotta fight this dude at a catch weight. I gotta fight this dude with a rehydration clause. Dude, you can't wear the color purple because I'm colorblind. You got to shave off your beard because I need to see how soft the chin is. Bro, like that's the type of Tank. Look, whatever, bro. Whatever. He beat Pitbull Cruz. No, he did not. He did not beat Pitbull Cruz. That fight was a draw. Okay? He did not beat Pitbull Cruz. It's like saying Shakur beat Edwin de los Santos. Like, no, he did not, bro. You did not beat that dude. Okay? The word beat, you can maybe say Tank Davis outpointed Pitbull Cruz, but he did not beat Pitbull Cruz. You see, what Pitbull Cruz did to Rolly Romero, that's beat. Pitbull Cruz beat his ass. Tank Davis did none of that to Pitbull. I mean, you look at Pitbull's face and body language. What did Tank Davis said what did that dude ask Tank Davis? Were you looking to fight on the rematch? What did Tank say? Hell nah. That just lets me know off body language and mindset who won that fight from a mental standpoint. Abner wants to go. He goes, who is Pitbull's best win? Honestly, Pitbull is I feel like he's barely starting his career, right? So, like, his best win, probably, I don't know, not Jesse, Diego Magdaleno. I mean, his best profile win is Rolly Romero, of course, but, like, I'm not going to rate Rolly Romero. You know what I mean? Like, really, dude, Ismael Barroso should have been that champion. Anyway. Pretty tough, man. Pretty tough to say. Excuse me. But how you guys doing on a Tuesday? Or do you guys think that I'm completely wrong? You think that Gvodzyk pieces apart? You guys think that Gvodzyk pieces apart David Benavidez? The Mexican G goes, I'm going to keep it real. I can't think of any Mexican fighter that can beat Tank at the moment. I got to give him his respect. Let me see. Any Mexican fighter that can beat Tank Davis. I'm going to exclude Pitbull Cruz because I think Pitbull Cruz can beat him. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but I think he can beat Tank. In that respective weight class or, in or about those weight classes, yeah, man. I mean, that's a fair point. I think Zepeda could give Tank Davis problems. I think Tank could also drop Zepeda with a nasty-ass uppercut, but that would be a really interesting fight. Zepeda throws a lot of punches. If he were to throw 150 punches each round like he did to Jojo Diaz and keep him at the end of the jab, I'm sure that Tank isn't just going to walk down Zepeda. Let me see. I don't know. In or about those weight classes, I mean, what does Mexico have? I'm trying to think, like, what do they have? But again, it's not the end all be all with like Mexicans trying to. This isn't like a brown versus black thing where like, oh man, Tank Davis is the truth because I can't name a Mexican that can beat him right now. I mean, could Pitbull beat him? Yeah, by that same metric that you guys want to say that, Tank beat him by a hair, I can also say the same thing, There was a reason why Tank Davis was like an 11-1 favorite against Pitbull Cruz. Then when you watch the fight, Pitbull Cruz up until that point had fought absolutely nobody. Like, if I'm being completely honest, he had fought nobody. I mean, I think his best win was like Diego Magdaleno, right? Pitbull was essentially a nobody. Now, a few people knew of Pitbull. He's like a guy that's coming up, but Isaac Cruz. Let's check out his box rec real quick. Box rec. Box Rex. Come on, you made me sign with the Google. I gotta do all these shenanigans. Wow. You just hating on David. Let me see. Abner goes. I'm gonna keep it real. I can't think of a Mexican fighter that can be taken. Okay, I read that. Benavides is getting KO'd. Man, you stay hating on David Benavides. Punching power is the last thing to go. You gotta be a Canelo fan. Not hating. I just want to see. I want to see Canelo versus Benavides. Yeah, Magdaleno. Excuse me. Yeah, I think Pitbull Cruz up until that point, his best fight was against Diego Magdaleno. And no disrespect to Diego Magdaleno, but I mean this dude isn't. You know, I mean, I'm not saying that he's not good. He's a decent fighter, but he's not like a champion or, he's somebody that you got to really study and look out for, Damn, man, what's up with this internet? But yeah, no, look, I might be wrong with Gvozdyk, but the way I look at it is like this dude is a Karen. That same Karen that fought Jerome Boots Ennis, that's Gvozdyk for me. He doesn't throw a lot of punches. He throws very predictable punches. Yeah, he circles well. He might have a little sidestep to him. This will be David's one of his toughest fights. Like, okay, let me put it to you like this. Caleb Plant has a lot of good movement, right? But he's only a one-armed fighter. It's the jab and the left hook. To Gvozdyk's credit, he's got decent power in both hands, but it's mainly his right hand. He doesn't really throw uppercuts with either hand. He has a nice jab, and he does a really good job of pairing punches, and that's about it. Adonis Stevenson and Artur Beterbiev, when they would land on Gvozdyk's body, Gvozdyk would feel that. I'm not saying that he's soft to the body. I'm just saying he doesn't really take a good body punch. Okay. To Gvozdyk's credit, or to David is extremely flawed. I mean, it's just really a high guard, right? We don't really see him slip punches. We don't really see him roll. I guess against David Lemieux, he took a back step and showed a check left hook. But, I mean, that's against David Lemieux, right? Like, he's short. He's typically a 160-pounder, and he's probably 40 years old. It's the same thing that I can say against Gvozdyk, right? I mean, he's close to 40 years old. Yes, he was active last year, but it was against nobodies. I don't know, man. I just feel like this is David's moment. And if he really wants to continue to go on this, I don't know, storytelling situation where it's like, oh, the narrative is I keep beating on Canelo's sparring partners. It was first Ronald Ellis. Now it's Gvozdyk. Let me beat on the other dude that he sometimes takes to camp from New Zealand. And then let me get to Canelo. I mean, if that's the narrative that David wants to continue to run, then he's supposed to put the lights out of Oleksandr Gvodzyk. Does Gvozdyk have one last hoorah in him? I got to see it. Because, I don't know, man. Again, I'm not trying to put David on this pedestal, right? But if David is supposed to be that guy that's supposed to dethrone Canelo Alvarez, and you can't get through Gvozdyk, then it's just for naught. It's just like, nah. You know what I mean? Let me see. Hold on. Who was I looking for? Oh, Isaac Cruz. It might even be with a K rather. I don't know. It's with a C. I-S-A. Nope, I spelled that shit wrong. Damn. I put Tank Davis. What do you guys think about Subriel Matias versus Leon Paro? You guys think that's a good fight to bet on, or you think Matias he's that dude? Gervonta Davis. Like, for example, Subriel Matias. If you look at his resume, it's very similar to Josh Taylor's. He's probably fought like, I don't know, 7-10 dudes that are undefeated, like damn near back-to-back. Dadashev, fucking Jeremiah Sponce, that one Ukrainian dude that he just beat the southpaw. It's just like, damn, bro. Fucking Subriel Matias it's that dude. Josh Taylor, when he was beating guys like, well, I don't think he fought Malik Hooker, but it was like Ryan Martin, O'Hara Davis, Jose Ramirez, Regis Prograis. When you tallied it up, all those like wins, like that's why Josh looks a little bit shocked. because all of those tough ass fucking fights. So my question to you guys is: Subriel Matias fighting all of these guys like Dadashev and Jeremiah Ponce. These training camps take a lot out of Subriel. Does Leon Paro have that little upset ability in him? I don't know. I was a little surprised. Well, I actually expected more from Leon Paro when he fought that black kid, the one that takes the dogs, Montana Love. Right? I needed Leon Paro to look much better and greater than he did. I really wasn't too impressed with Leon Paro against Montana Love. For example, I'm trying to figure out who Subriel Matias fought in his last fight. Hold on. Subriel Matias. When Subriel fought El Orgullo de Maternillo. Shit, that's a badass name. Oh, Ergashev. There you go. Ergashev. Ergashev. Man, give me a second, guys. Ergashev, he's a way faster and athletic version than Leon Paro. And I'm not going to lie to you. Subriel Matias made that fight look easy. He made that fight look easy. Whereas Jeremiah Ponce, that dude in the first couple of rounds, Ponce was throwing like 150 punches in the opening rounds, and Matias were just eating all those uppercuts. I'm like, what the fuck, Matias? Can't you take a step back, bro? Can't you take a step back, check left hook, right cross? Like, don't just stand there. And it just realized, like, he didn't even care. Look at this. Leon Paro, 24-0. Ergashev, 23-0. Jeremiah Ponce, 30-0. Jun Kimbayev, 18-0. Malik Hawkins, 18-0. Maxim Dadashev, 13-0. Holy snaps. That's like Josh Taylor. Let me read Josh Taylor's resume. I'm just saying, guys, like, a lot of our attention goes into I almost like the wrong fighters. Josh Taylor. Jack Catterall, 26-0. Teofimo, 18-1. Ramirez, 26-0. Kong Song, 16-0. Regis Prograde, 24-0. Baranchenk, 19-0. Ryan Martin, 22-0. Victor Postal, 29-1. O'Hara Davis, 15-0. Miguel Vasquez, 39-5. That's insane. That is insane, folks. Now, those names that I told you between Matias and Josh Taylor, those are bona fide contenders in their weight classes. Let me read you guys Gervonta Davis. Ryan Garcia, 23-0. Hector Luis Garcia, 16-0. Rolando Romero, 14-0. Isaac Cruz, 22-1. Mario Barrios, 26-0. Leo Santa Cruz, 37-1. Gamboa, 30-2. Right? Now, Ryan Garcia. Now, don't forget the stipulations, because those other fighters, Subriel Matias and Josh Taylor, they have no catch weights between all of those guys that were undefeated. They were contenders in their weight class. It was equal 50-50. Tank Davis, though. Ryan Garcia, 136, catch weight, rehydration clause. Hector Luis Garcia had just became a champion at 130, upsetting Chris Colbert, then defending it against Roger Gutierrez. Made Hector Luis Garcia move up to 135. He gets a knockout in 9 rounds. Rolando Romero, 14-0, should not be undefeated, should not be a champion, because Ismael Barroso beat his ass. That's when he fights him. Isaac Cruz, last minute replacement. Isaac Cruz basically to this day has no bodies on his resume. Like, again, we just went over his resume. His best fight was Magdaleno. So, and Leo and Mario Barrios, 26-0, right? You can't even name me one legit fighter that Mario Barrios had fought before he fought Tank Davis, other than, oh man, Mario Barrios is 5'11", right? Excuse me. So basically what I am saying is Tank Davis just isn't that dude. And that's why you can't put him on the top pound for pound list on nobody's. The dude is really not a legit champion. Okay? That's just the reality, guys. Now, I can't give you names of a Mexican that can beat him, right? I don't know how many good champions are there at 135 or at 140. I wouldn't bet on Arnold Barboza. I wouldn't bet on Jose Ramirez. You know what I'm saying? To upset Tank Davis. But I would bet some money on Teofimo Lopez to beat him. Probably put some money up on, Edwin de los Santos to beat him. But I don't think Tank would ever take this fight. Again, Frank Martin is his first black fighter on Tank Davis's resume. Yeah, Giovanni Cabrera. I like Giovanni Cabrera. He's really good. I think he's fighting not Venado Lopez, El Camarón Zepeda. I think Cabrera beats him, man. I think Cabrera could outbox William Zepeda. I think he's at plus 800. Woo-hoo! If Pitbull Cruz couldn't knock out Cabrera, I don't think Zepeda could, man. War speed, yo, bro. Let me see. His last 6 is 127 wins to 2 losses, counting Leon Paro. That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. Subriel Matias is that fucking dude, bro. The Mexican G goes, I have a personal dislike for Josh Taylor. He was fighting dirty against Ramirez. I hate Josh Taylor. I'm not going to lie to you, dude. I hate that dude. But he was a road warrior. He's willing to fight every single body. He went in there like Lomachenko and just fought all of these dudes off the rip. No stipulations. I'm fighting you in your backyard. Yes, he fought dirty against Ramirez. I lost $2,000 that night. I thought Ramirez would take it. And I hate that dude. I really do have dislike Josh Taylor. But the dude at that time, that motherfucker was dangerous, bro. I see a lot of last-minute interest in his most recent PBC offering. Just a few months ago, people would discredit Frank Martin, and now people are crediting Gvodzyk. It's because, dude, they're running with they're only accrediting Gvodzyk because they love Canelo, right? And they're discrediting Frank Martin in his last performance against the German because they want to uplift. And see, it doesn't not even uplift Tank, but it's so stupid. Because if you discredit Frank Martin, you're basically already saying that Frank Martin fucking sucks. So then Tank Davis beat a bum. And if you're accrediting Gvodzyk, imagine David knocks him out, and then you're gonna be like, oh my God, I didn't expect it. I didn't expect him to make it look that easy. Well, why wouldn't you? Gvodzyk has fought absolutely nobody in the last 3 rounds. You're giving Gvodzyk the same level of respect when he was 30 years old fighting a 40-year-old Adonis Steven. When does the statute of limitations, when do we stop saying like, oh, Gvodzyk is the same at age 37 when he was at age 30? Like those are 7-10 year removed. That's a complete different Gvodzyk. Since then, he's been retired. He's been defeated. He's fought in nobodies. And this is David's moment. Now, of course, in the world of upsets, this is where we live for, the underdog story. So we give Gvodzyk credit because he does have that experience. But when is the statute of limitations or father time at each certain fighter? There's a reason why Gvodzyk retired after he lost to Beterbiev. There's a reason his last 3 fights in 2023 against the Joe Schmoes of the world. Why didn't he fight Anthony Yarde? Why didn't you fight a top fighter? Why didn't he come back and fight Dimitri Bivol? Oh, he's fresh. He was retired. He got his senses correct. He went to a Buddhist temple. He shaved off his head. He was praying. Why didn't Gvodzyk fight those guys? Why did he have to fight Ricard Botnik? It doesn't make any sense. Warp Speed goes, Frank Martin is no less of a good fighter than Raymond Ford is. Men who may be down on the cards, but then figure how to win dramatically. And David Benavidez was a size bully, and now he's likely too small for 175. Man, I don't know who said Davis one. Earlier I was talking about how people they try to shit on size bullies or weight bullies, whatever the case may be. But I actually give a lot of respect to weight bullies because, again, boxing is all about sacrificing. You sacrifice your well-being, right, so you can feed your family. Guys that, quote-unquote, are weight bullies are taking boxing that much more serious. Give them credit for their sacrifice and their discipline, knowing that they're fucking fat and they're looking to shed 30 fucking pounds just so they can continue to feed their family. It's literally the definition of boxing. It's like, in terms of the big message, I sacrifice my health, my brain, my chin, right, so I can feed my family. Let me sacrifice much more to make weight. It's the same fucking, it encapsulates everything. So give David and Devin Haney and all of these dudes that are quote-unquote weight bullies, much more respect, especially when they're trying to give us the best fucking fights. Because again, if I was having a face-off with a fighter que está chupado, you know, that look fucking like dead man walking. If I see Devin Haney and I see his fucking eyes and I see his cheekbones and this dude looks depleted, I'm gonna be like, look, bro, look how fucking ridiculous you look. Actually, I'm not gonna. I was gonna say something really offensive, but you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, you're a dead man walking, and you need to do all that just to beat me. Like, I feel you got a rude awakening for tomorrow. Come Saturday, I'm gonna fucking destroy you. Ain't no fucking skinny ass dude putting himself in the death camp going to beat me. That's just the way I look at it. Now, people be like, oh no, man, he's gonna rehydrate to 30 pounds. I don't know, bro. I just have a different level of respect for weight bullies because, again, imagine losing, I don't know, 25, 30 pounds. And knowing that you're already in shape and you're just cutting water, like, I don't think people really realize how difficult it is to lose 5 pounds, 10 pounds in a week like these fighters do. People can't even lose 1 or 2 pounds in a fucking month. These fighters are losing it in, like, I don't know how they do it, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know. Weight bullyism is not what people really perceive it to be. Sorry, I'm taking a sip of the Capri Sun. Let me see. Look, man, I'm about to end this real quick, man. I think I talked a little longer, but warp speed. Josh Taylor is and was great for the sport. He's been disliked so much people that all of a sudden people became fans of Jack Catterall. That's fucking funny, dude. That's fucking funny. I don't like Jack Catterall. What is there to like about Jack Catterall, bro? I hate Josh Taylor, you know, but I can get behind a villain, you know. Josh Taylor was that great villain that you would like to hate. But yeah, I like, why would you like Jack Catterall? Like, that dude is like, liking Jack Catterall is like putting on your cape and for being a Sandor Martin fan. Oh my God, Sandor Martin, he's so much skillful. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Oh my God, that's fucking funny though. Let me highlight that shit. Where you at? Where you at? That's funny, dude. That's hilarious. Let me see. Abner goes, Giovanni Cabrera went 12 rounds with Pitbull. I can almost guarantee Cameron will knock him out. Woo! Dude, I don't know, man. If you look at Giovanni Cabrera and who he's fought, that dude is like Venado Lopez, bro. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not the biggest William Zepeda fan. What I mean by that is, like, he's really good, but Golden Boy, because they have a limited stable, they choose good fighters, but they're really good at mismatching their fighters so they can continue to get those knockout performances, right? Like, look at Zurdo, who all of those dudes when he was with Golden Boy, look at who he fought. Cameron Zepeda, damn near all cherry picks. This is one of those fights where cherry picking will go wrong. Yeah, dude, I think Giovanni Cabrera is one of those, like, pesky, you know, Mauricio Herrera, Miguel Vasquez type fighters that you don't really want to fight because they're Sandor Martins and Jack Catteralls. I think Cameron is like, Giovanni Cabrera will be the Jack Catterall for Cameron. Wait, did I say that right? Giovanni Cabrera will be the Jack Catterall for William Zepeda. Yeah, some shit like that. The Mexican G goes, Ramirez was winning. Josh Taylor was hitting after the bell. As a matter of fact, the first knockdown he scored was a punch after the bell that slowed. The first knockdown, I think, was Ramirez threw a cross. Josh Taylor slipped and caught him with his own two. And Ramirez fell down. The other one was, man, fuck Kenny Bayless. You know what, dude? Let me just take a deep breath. So I don't want to say some crazy shit. But fuck Kenny Bayless. Fuck Harvey Dock. I hate those fucking refs, bro. Like, I have, like, and Tony Weeks too, bro. Oh my God, what he did to Barroso. Some of these frustrating, dude. Frustrating. Oh my goodness. That uppercut knockdown that Josh Taylor landed on Ramirez should have whatever. I mean, I'm just salty because I lost money that night, but yeah, man. Warp Speed goes, I remember that Mexican. I recall the homie being super disappointed at Ramirez for being so nice, soft and careless without ever trying to play dirty and nasty back to Taylor. Yeah, that too, man. Again, ever since Jose Ramirez left Freddie Roach, he became a fucking pacifist, and it's very fucking annoying, dude. It's really, I don't know, dude. It's just Robert Garcia, bro. I know it's Robert Garcia. Robert Garcia is all about being buddy buddy with his fucking boxers. I remember when he had Brandon Rios, it was all shits, laughs, and giggles. It's like, dude, you're supposed to run a fucking regimen there, a boot camp. You're fucking partying and having all like. That's why Mikey Garcia. You know what? Whatever, man. The biggest mistake Golden Boy Promotions made in recent years is letting go of Blair. Woo! Yeah, dude. Yeah, he shouldn't have let go of Blair the Flair, man. That dude, yeah. I can hear the frustration in your exhalations. Damn, that's a crazy ass word. I don't even know. Abner goes, Warp, ¿viste? Le tumbó los dientes. Yeah, dude. Fucking Broner, man. I would say this. I hope Broner doesn't retire, and I hope Deontay Wilder don't retire. I just need you guys to be more active and just don't try to fight top fighters. Just fight like the Oleksandr Gvodzyk and Virgil Ortiz's. Fight those Tomas Dolorme-like fighters that they've been fighting, just so you can get your confidence back. Fucking don't get me wrong. I'm not saying woo! Blair the Flair is this world beater. But like Alexis Rocha is a prime fighter when he beat Cobbs, and like Cobbs was doing pretty good. So I'm just saying like that was bad matchmaking for Adrian Broner. But yeah, man, Blair the Flair, yeah, Golden Boy should look to retain that dude back. You know what I mean? There's a lot of upside for there's room for Blair the Flair Cobbs at the Golden Boy situation. Warp Speed goes, sí, desde el principio del segundo round le tiró con todo el gorrito del Broner, pero no miré el diente salir, pero sí cuando se le cayó el protector. Hice un video de la reacción. Exhalations. What did I say? Exhalations. Look, guys, I don't know if you guys are in here in the lobby. Oh, yeah, Drew is. But I'm going to wrap it up here at work. I got to clean up, and then I got to put on my technology back, man. But yeah, man. Warp, I sent you the leak. If you and Drew want to, chop it up, go ahead. But yeah, man, I only got like 20 minutes before I got to sign off here. So
that's all good, man.
What you say, bro? What you say?
Huh? Well, this fight, I mean, I'll just give you a quick, quick little rundown. Oh man, did you tell them about Tank not showing up to press conference?
No, I actually haven't even talked about anything that happened today.
Okay. Yeah, that's what happened. I don't know what's going on, but I guess he's still fighting.
What's the significance of that? Like, what does that mean?
He's not happy with the promotions, and I'm like, fight's coming up, but it's all good. I mean, I didn't really read too much into it because I seen that you went live you're going live right now, so I was like, didn't have time to read up on it, but I seen Coach Ford say something about he's like kind of reassuring everyone that he's still fighting Frank and stuff. It don't mean nothing, I guess, but I don't know. It's just I wanted to see the build up. All we're gonna get is a weigh-in, entrance. Hopefully it's not him. I don't fucking know. Trying to be all, I don't know, like doing everything on purpose type of thing. Like, obviously he is because he's not happy, but I hope he's like genuinely not fucking happy. I hope it's not an excuse to play mind games, or I don't even know why that would be playing mind games, but I don't fucking know. But yeah, man. Anyways, with those fights, it should be a good fight. Knockout, Tank. He's gonna set him up.
Tank wins by knockout?
Yeah. He's gonna not physically like knock him out, but I think he's just gonna be, that's gonna be stopped by the ref type of thing. And
do you know that Tank has never fought a black fighter? And what happened when Floyd Mayweather would fight black fighters? Zab Judah would knock down Floyd. Shane Mosley would rock the shit out of Floyd. Chop Cordy gave Floyd tough fights. Rookie Gamboa at age, I don't know, 36, 37, was pretty much went the distance with a torn Achilles with Tank. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I don't know, man. I think, look, just for the sake of comparing, people were like, yo, dude, Stephen Fulton's going to outbox him. The American black code style of boxing is gonna be troublesome from Naoya. Bro, Naoya beat the shit out of that dude. Outboxed him first with the outboxing ability with the jab, and then rocked his shit with a punch that he never saw coming, and then he just lunged like Superman. It's almost like a symphony, and just this beautiful left hook. Ave Maria, boom, and then Stephen Fulton fell down, bro.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Well, I mean, that dude's fucking once a generation. The dude he fought, Fulton's still that dude. It's just he
All
fought
of
a
those
better
guys that Tank has fought, Drew,
Mm-hmm.
have been either Latinos or Mexicans that come forward to Tank Davis, give their size advantage, and then they run into a shot. I think Frank Martin's going to be much more intelligent than that. And this is one of the only fighters in a very long time that Tank Davis cannot handicap. There's no cash weight. There's no rehydration clause. That's the real reason Tank Davis didn't show up. Because he's scared, bro. Imagine being a fucking unprofessional. Oh, dude, I don't like Tom Brown promotions. I don't like the buildup for this fight. What buildup? No one is talking about this fucking fight. You know why? Because they don't know Frank Martin. Because everyone is reading Frank Martin off. But when you start looking and criticizing and really detailing Tank Davis, who he's fought, who he is, Tank is not that dude, bro. He's not that dude. If he was that dude, he would fight all of those dudes that we want him to fight. He should have been the first one to not only knock out Ryan Garcia, but to knock out to knock out Devin Haney, to beat Shakur Stevenson, to knock out Lomachenko, to beat Teofimo Lopez. But why hasn't he fought those dudes, bro? Why to this day has he not fought those dudes? Why has Teofimo fought all of those dudes, damn near everybody that we mentioned, and basically become two-time undisputed? Why does Tank Davis get to bypass the real tough fucking fights, and we give him credit for beating a fucking Mario Barrios when no one talks about what Teofimo Lopez did against Josh Taylor, a real fucking killer out here that we despise?
Right.
That's the standard thing, bro. Tank sucks.
Yeah. Look, I wouldn't use the word suck, right? He just because he has admitted that he was scared, or like nervous in some fights, But we've also seen him kind of beat dudes up like Isaac Cruz with one hand. I know Isaac Cruz is very beatable for a true boxer. It's just that he's still a fucking tough fight. He's still a champion right now, and all of his fucking wins have been actually aging pretty well. I mean, regardless of Ryan Garcia's BS, look what he's done. I mean, that's still forever on tape. Whatever allegation or like with the steroids stuff, whatever. But fucking the way he did it against Ryan, he set him up, bro. He set him up, and all of his wins are starting to. Like, this is the thing. He punches hard as shit for a very small man. That is a very unique thing about him, right? But
Tank
when
Davis?
but
Mike Tyson at heavyweight was a very small man, and it's such a unique thing when those guys were 6'8". It's okay. We've seen small men be huge punchers, bro.
But he's a hard puncher, period. That's just what it is. His fists produce enough power to turn people off, and he's actually made highlight reels out of it.
Has Tank Davis really fought defensive wizards? Has he fought top pound for pound fighters? Give me one top fighter on his resume that was on the pound for pound list or that was that dude.
None, bro.
That had great defense. He's not fought one dude that has spectacular defense.
None. Yeah, you're right.
Does Ryan Garcia have spectacular defense? No. Was Hector Luis Garcia the only guy that had spectacular defense? Was Pitbull Cruz, and then people want to say Barrios. King Davis. Mario Barrios does not have. Look how good his defense was against Fabian Maidana, bro.
His offense is his defense.
Up in 2 rounds, bro. Let me ask you this. Let me tell you this. Pitbull Cruz has spectacular defense. It's very nice, tight. He slips punches, right? He bobs and weaves type of shit. Tank Davis supposedly broke his hand. Did we ever see X-rays for that?
So you're saying no? So you're saying it's a lie?
Or did Pitbull roll and block the punch, and that basically tweaked Tank Davis's hand a little bit?
Are you saying it's a lie?
I am saying that not only A, is it a lie, and I'm also saying that B, Pitbull Cruz's defense his blocking ability of rolling and parrying the shot, the uppercut that Tank supposedly broke his hand, was the reason. Pitbull Cruz was the reason Tank Davis got his hand,
But
quote unquote, fractured or injured in that fight. Not
did
because he
Tank
was
win?
injured going into the fight. There's a big
Did Tank
disparity between those two contexts.
did Tank win that fight?
I thought it was a draw. I didn't think he won that
Okay.
fight.
Okay. All right.
You know,
I
some
thought he
people,
won.
most people will say that Tank Davis won, but let me tell you this: when I forgot what that dude name is, you know, the dude with the widow's peak, the tall ass dude, he was like, "Oh, don't say that. You know, this is a tough time for our nation with guns." Whatever that fucking guy's name is, right? When they asked Tank, would he fight and rematch Pitbull Cruz? What did he say?
He said no.
He said no. He didn't just say no. He goes, "Hell nah." And why do you think?
No.
Why do you think he said hell nah?
Because he's not trying to break his hand again, or
He's not trying to lose. Because he knows those 36 minutes, he did not have fucking fun. He did not have fun. He could not score a knockdown. He couldn't even wobble Pitbull Cruz. He had to run for dear fucking life, bro. In what world did he win that fight, bro?
Yeah, but I don't know. But Mario Barrios and Ryan Garcia are very tough fighters. He's beat them both, bro, and the way he's done it against both those tall ass dudes that are taller than us, and are fighting at heavier weights right now, and he's knocked them both out. You put those two guys against Pitbull Cruz or like any of the other his opponents, like they spank him, bro. Like Ryan Garcia is the best fighter on his resume. Like the tough, like the most gifted at least, and he still managed to set him up. Brian Garcia beats all of Tank's fucking maybe does he beat all of Tank's fight opponents? Brian Garcia. I know he does, like in
I
the
don't know if
first
Ryan
time.
Garcia can beat Pitbull Cruz. I know that
Yeah.
Ryan Garcia would knock out Gamboa and all of those other dudes that he beat. And I think I would favor Ryan Garcia to beat Mario Barrios, but I don't know if Ryan can beat Pitbull. And also,
and he
you said
beat Pitbull.
That Tank Davis's victories against Barrios and Ryan Garcia are doing well. Let's talk about that just for a brief second. You cannot give these fighters credit. Like, for example, a lot of people say, "Oh, Canelo is Floyd Mayweather's greatest victory because look how Canelo planned out to be." Hold on. When Canelo is a completely different fucking fighter when he was 22 years old, 23, fighting Floyd. The 32-year-old that Canelo came out to be was not because Floyd Mayweather beat that dude at 22. Like, we didn't even know what a complete project Canelo was going to end up being, okay, after Floyd. Like, we did not know that he would go on to become undisputed and go all the way to 175 and knock out Crusher Kovalev and fight Bivol. You get what I'm saying? Like, it should not work like that. And giving Tank Davis for fighting and beating Ryan Garcia, who was 136 weight drained, who hadn't fought at 136, all the rest of the fights against Javier Fortuna and all those dudes who were at 144, you put a rehydration clause. How can you give him credit when he cheated Devin Haney, paid $2 million to fight at another catch weight, didn't make weight, failed drug test, A sample, B sample? How can you guys give Tank Davis credit for those things? It doesn't make any sense, bro. Like, that's like saying, "Hey, you know what, dude? I beat Shaq. I told Shaq to come down to 160, knowing that he weighs 340 pounds, and I knocked down a 7-footer." That's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
It don't make any sense to be able to give these guys that much credit. That's what I'm trying to say with Tank Davis. It's like I've yet to see why Tank Davis is put on this pedestal just because he can knock fighters out. Okay, what fighter has he fought that's been on the pound for pound list? What fighter that he's fought have been a legit champion besides Pedraza? What true fighter has he fought that has great defense besides Pitbull Cruz? And we didn't even know who Pitbull Cruz was at that time, bro. It's like Tank Davis does the bare minimum, but he gets revered as if he's an all-time great in this generation.
Yeah. Well, I thought, dude, honestly, I thought
in like perspective, because dude, like, I don't know, bro.
I thought, honestly, dude, I thought I was watching a Tank fight with you, and can you hear me?
Yeah. My bad. I muted you, but I was trying to close this one right here. The other screen.
Yeah, no, I could have sworn I was watching a Tank fight with you, and And pretty much you said, I was asking you, how many, like, does he beat this guy? Does he beat that guy? And you're like, he beats them all. I could have sworn you were high on this guy.
Look, I might have see with me, I go a lot of back and forth because sometimes like I know
But
that
that was
Tank
years ago,
Davis. Yeah,
pre
look, I know that Tank
pre-pandemic.
Davis. I know that Tank Davis could potentially beat all these dudes. I know that he could probably knock the block off Teofimo Lopez. But if that's how I feel, then just go out there and do it. But see, because he doesn't go out there and do it, I can't really like put $1,000 and be like, that's exactly what he's going to do. Because there's a reason why he's circumvented and not fought Lomachenko all of these years. You get what I'm saying? Like, I think Tank could possibly beat Lomachenko and probably knock him out. But there's a difference between what I think or what I feel versus what reality is. And what reality is that Tank Davis is moving in a certain way where I'm just like, I can't. These other soldiers and gladiators and fighters are doing amazing things in their career and not getting nowhere near the credit as Tank Davis. Tank Davis comes out here in this world and tells everybody, I am the face of boxing. In what world are you the face of boxing, bro? Are you doing
Yeah.
stuff that Oleksandr Gvodzyk is doing? Are you doing stuff that Canelo Alvarez is doing? Have you become undisputed? Have you ever been unified? Have you ever found a pound for pound fighter?
Right.
Because all of these dudes are doing all those things. And what have you done?
Right. No, yeah,
So
it's
that
hard to
makes me feel
disagree.
like maybe Tank is that dude, but his resume don't speak of being that dude. I'm not saying Mario Barros is not tough. And I'm not saying that's a challenging fight. I'm not saying that. Same thing with Ryan Garcia. I'm just saying, like, you have to handicap these fighters in order for you to get the job done. And I understand it. Like, you're the A side or whatever. You are very wise. You can spin narratives and you know the sport of boxing. When it comes down to the art of war, like Tank Davis understands that weight matters, rehydration clauses matter, the gloves that you use matter. He understands all of that. But yeah, man. Look, Drew, I gotta clean it up, bro. You can
Hey, I
continue
got a
to
new card, bro.
uh
I'm gonna show you my new card that I got.
oh, dude, nice. But yeah, bro, I
PS
gotta clean up. But yeah, man.
PSA 10.
Oh, for sure. But do
All
your
right, man.
thing, brother.
All
But
right, now
yeah,
I'm gonna take off, bro.
all right, for sure, Drew. Have a good one,
All right,
brother.
man. All right, man. Later.
All right, guys. I'll see you guys later on the next one, man. Gotta clean up. I'm out, folks. Have a good Tuesday.